Hi, we are Jiwon Choi, Songi Kim, and Hyunjin Kim. We would like to present our idea that addresses the problem of calculating environmental footprint. So, what is an environmental footprint? Before delving into the calculation, we first looked up and tried to understand what it actually means. According to the Global Footprint Network, environmental footprint is the area that a defined population, organization requires to produce the natural resources it consumes and to absorb its waste in global hectare. We utilize the working guidebook to the national footprint accounts from Global Footprint Network to understand the calculation process. Global Footprint Network is a research organization that is changing how the world manages its natural resources and responds to climate change. Its partner network comprises more than 70 organizations around the world, including the Zero Waste Department in South Australian government, the City of Calgary in Canada, and the World Wildlife Fund in Japan. This is an overall table that our calculation is based on. We will discuss some parts of it about it in this presentation. One of the basic constants we used in the calculation was footprint intensity of carbon. Footprint intensity of carbon is footprint per ton of carbon dioxide emitted. It was calculated by dividing the equivalence factor for forest land by the carbon sequestration factor, which yields the number of tons of carbon sequestered per global hectare each year. Then it is multiplied by the percentage of carbon not sequestered by oceans and the mass ratio of carbon to carbon dioxide, yielding a final result in global hectares per ton of carbon dioxide per year. This is one of the sections of carbon, procurement. It is calculated based on the global average carbon intensity of fuels used for primary energy production. CO2 emissions are calculated by multiplying energy by a constant world primary energy carbon intensity, and environmental footprint, EF, is then calculated by multiplying CO2 by the footprint intensity of carbon. This is another section of carbon, electricity. It is calculated as the product of emissions and the footprint intensity of carbon. Emissions is calculated as the product of the energy of electricity used and a regional electricity carbon intensity factor. This is a result and suggested solution page of the website, which comes out at the end after the user company inputs all the relevant data. We try to implement AI when searching for an adequate solution. First approach is an effective search for non-experts. For non-experts, it might be difficult to wholly understand the results and the statistics calculated at the end. Therefore, we propose to utilize Google Cloud's Document AI and Genus Neural Search to extract the keywords from the problematic part, for example, electricity or wood, and search helpful online resources and provide the links for the companies. It might be a good starting point or a guideline to get access to various resources. However, the problem might rise from the fact that the AI is not perfect, and there is a possibility for the website to provide a not really useful link, not really comparable to the company's situation. The second approach is a ML model using Vertex AI. With a dataset consisting of information regarding companies, we can train a machine learning model that clusters of companies into groups. Their effort and current work towards reducing environmental footprint will also be counted in order to further train the model and cluster the companies to figure out the most effective solution each group took. Then, with the resulting statistics from the user company, we propose to deploy the trained model and predict the best effective solution the company can take at the current situation. Although it is likely that this approach will provide much more specific and clear solutions than the links provided in the previous approach, the problem with this approach is that we first need a large dataset consisting of information regarding companies, which will probably require some government funding or support. Thank you.
We present to you the prototype of our project made from Adobe XD. This is the main homepage of our website, which consists of a brief explanation about our product and the concept of environmental footprint, and also the significance of it to our potential customer. If the user clicks this Calculate Footprint button on the header, then the user would navigate to this page and then to this page, where it will guide the users to answer different questions about their own organizations. The questions were made so that they can be answered by non-experts who doesn't have any technical expertise on environmental footprints. This first page asks about the basic information about the user's organization, such as its name, its business sector, and its country. As you can see, the users will be able to answer some of the questions in a simple text field or by selecting a choice from a drop-down menu. As the user progresses to next page, you can see that there's a change in the progress bar, which shows how far the user has come in answering all questions. This page is about the procurement of the user's organization, where the user will be able to choose the category for the procurement and the exact amount in a given unit. We also plan to implement the validation check function in our product, which will show this warning message when the user has entered an input with an abnormal scale. Our product will be able to detect this anomaly by first training a machine learning model to cluster different companies into groups. And then it'll figure out which group the user's organization is in, and then compare the group's average to the value that the user has entered. And the following pages each asks about different types of environmental footprints. In this case, about energy, fuel, and process. And in this case, about timber and fuel wood products. They will each ask the user to input the type of the products used and then the exact amount in the given unit. And after filling out every page, our product would calculate the total amount of environmental footprint and then show it in the result page. It shows it and then also the carbon footprint. And also it displays the pie chart, which shows the proportions of different types of environmental footprints. It also shows the rankings. After the user is finished reading the result, when they click this button, they'll be navigated to the solution page. By analyzing the result data, our product will be able to determine which area the user's organization needs to focus on, and we plan to propose these solutions in the form of action plans so that it's most clear for the users to know what to do next. And we also plan to explain the possible impact of the solution and also the related URL. We plan to do this by using AI to analyze different websites and files and find the most relevant one to this given solution.